surrounded by a lot of plants. We have amazing herbs. There's a lot of herbs here at Waters Garden Center. In fact, 95% of my herbs are from Waters, whether they came from seed or they came from friends that have blessed me and said, hey, I've got some mint. Would you like to use that today? So this is really passionate to share. We do have a couple water stations. I wanted to make sure in case people are thirsty. We've got water over here. We've got water over here. My friend Cecilia brought in some great water, and she's got mint over there. Nice, clean, healthy water. And then I wanted to recognize Cassandra Culver. She brought the mint that's over in the water station over here. So we have the best of both worlds together. So thank you, ladies, for bringing that. Who had breakfast or has not had breakfast? No breakfast. No breakfast. All right. Well, I'm amazed at the turnout. This is so wonderful. But today what we're going to do is we're going to make some dishes. Some of my favorites, or some that I think are super easy peasy for folks to make with the herbs. And we'll do as much taste testing as we can. So if you don't get a bite of one, know that you'll get a bite of something. And Cheyenne's going to be assisting with making sure we get all those bites. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is we're going to start doing some eggs. What I love to do are eggs with some fresh parsley and a little bit of lemon juice, maybe salt and pepper if you like to add that to taste. So you're probably thinking, parsley, why do you use parsley? Well, parsley is just amazing. In fact, parsley has been around for years and years and years and years and years, and it's just amazing. Parsley has been used medicinally for centuries. And I'm gonna put some in, can we put some on a plate and just pass it around, Cheyenne? If anybody wants to just taste what parsley tastes like straight off the bush. And these herbs that we're using today, kind of do like a Vanna, I cut this morning before I came here. So I grow these at the Natural Healing Garden. The Natural Healing Garden is a company that my husband and I own. We've been in community for 7 years. And I host the Goods from the Garden, which is healthy eating infusion. We do events, we do catering, we do private meal planning, we do private chef, and we just get together and have fun. We have a soup program, and we also participate in the Winter Farmers Market. So you may see us out in community doing those things. So let's go ahead. What I brought today was some eggs. I love using olive oil and I love using butter, but I try to use olive oil more. Olive oil is just amazing. And they say statistically, if you take 2 tablespoons of olive oil, your life could change. So do some research, see what you think, but it's great for your skin, it's great for your nails, great for your hair, and it tastes so good. So I love using olive oil when I cook. And we're just gonna go ahead and pop this in the pan. It's really hard to measure, like to say, oh, put 2 tablespoons in. But usually about 2 to 3 tablespoons will work really well when you're doing your cooking. And I've already done the eggs and got those preset, so I'm just gonna let this heat up a little bit. This is my fun, handy dandy little stove top. So as I mentioned, we're gonna do some parsley, and then we're also going to do some lemon juice. I love lemon juice. It really wakes up the flavor of your dishes. I've got a little chopping block down here, so I'm going to use this area. So who has a parsley story? Anybody want to share something that you're like, oh, well, I like parsley, and this is why?
When it goes to seed, do you still use the leaves?
You know what? I do. But I think that would be a really good Ken question if he was here as far as
the seed head to keep the bitterness.
I've never done it for the bitterness. I just eat it, but I watch it, and my mom Linda, she was at the garden and she was cooking little things off for me as well.
Okay.
So I would direct a little bit more on the gardener side, other than the seed part, because I believe in, I just eat it. And if it does go to seed, it's still amazing, yeah. Speaking of, I have a little bit of arugula. Oh, yes, ma'am.
I didn't hear about parsley.
Oh, the parsley, if it goes to seed, would we still use it? Thank you for the prompting, yeah.
For the benefit of the people on live stream, if you got a question, if you could repeat it so that they hear it.
Thank you for that, yeah. Yes,
One thing, Debbie, is that any, especially herbs, lots of water or they will be bitter. They don't get enough water, they're bitter.
absolutely.
Just like
Yeah. Water is important, absolutely. You got that right, Vicki. Water and like nutrition, fertilizer. I know I use a fertilizer here from Waters Garden Center, and it's amazing. Waters gets a lot of good prompting here. You know, it's a beautiful facility. I love it. All right, so I went ahead and I've already pre-whipped up some eggs. So I'm just gonna put these in. You're probably wondering, Debbie, why are you using a kettle? But I have a big frying pan at another event that my chef is at today, so I'm using what works. It's awesome. All right, so let's go ahead. We're gonna go and start working on the eggs a little bit. I'm just gonna start working them so they don't get too tough. Right when the eggs start forming and they're getting a little bit more firm, then I'll put the parsley in, and I'm gonna put a little bit of lemon juice. I'm gonna season with a little bit of salt and pepper. I love using a little bit of salt and pepper. I don't like to over salt my food. I would rather use a little salt and let the guests use any additional salt. Too much salt could affect those that may not work for them. So this is cooking up here. So a little story as we're cooking this. As I mentioned, I've been attending the Herbal Wisdom Institute, and it's a year program. And my husband actually signed me up because he thought, wow, Debbie, you're really passionate about what you do. And he called the program director and said, sign her up. And she called me and said, is this what you want to do? And I said, yes, this is what I want to do. And because of it, it's kind of like my life has changed because of these things here and because of the people that I've been around and I'm able to support. I cook for a couple clients. In fact, Miss Susan here just walking in. When I cook for them, I do personal chef services and meal planning. I put the herbs into the food. It's the intention that I also put into the food. And sometimes the clients, they don't know what they're eating in those herbs. But because I know them and I know it could help them, I add it. A story that I have, I recently met a new gal who has some throat challenges, and she can't eat anything firm. It has to be all soupy, very loose, very smooth foods, jello soups, puddings, cottage cheese. But because of some of the things she shared with me, I added some other herbs to her food. And I talked to her husband the other day, and he said she ate the whole pouch. She ate a whole pouch of soup. And it was just like, oh, it warms my heart. So herbs are amazing. You know, we talk about plant to plate, and I just love taking foods and bringing them to fruition. Here in Prescott, we're really blessed to have the Prescott Farmers Market right here in our backyard, whether it's the summer or winter, and you can get some great products. This is from my friend Laird. He's the sprout man. If anybody goes and gets their sprouts from the market, he handed me this beautiful squash. I love butternut squash. I love making butternut squash and putting in some dried sage. Sage is very yummy, very powerful, and it's so tasty. In fact, I do soups spring, summer, winter, and fall. Anybody else eat soup all year round? Yeah? All right. So with a show of hands, who grows herbs in their home? Oh, I love it! Look at that! That's awesome! And why, may I ask? Just talk about it. Why would you grow herbs in your home? They're delicious?
You don't need that much.
You don't need much? A little bit goes a long way? Great, thank you. Excellent. And that's what it is. It's a little bit goes a long way. Awesome, thanks for the feedback. This is taking a little bit longer than I'd like it to, but I'm gonna add the parsley in. And then we're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of lemon juice in, just to brighten up the flavor. I always like to catch my lemon seeds, because sometimes they sneak in and don't wanna serve seeds.
Are you using a non-stick pan?
I am. Yep, I'm using a non-stick pan, and it has a stainless steel bottom on this cooktop that I have. It's really sensitive. I have to use a correct cookware for it. Oh, this is starting to come up nice. All right, we're gonna give it a little bam of some salt and pepper. I mentioned earlier that my mother Linda came to the center here, and she would pick up plants and bring them to the garden. And Amy, the assistant manager here, and she also does their marketing, she's like, I see your mom. My mom drives this really cool truck with an arc over it. And everybody knows, like, oh, there's Debbie's mom when they know me. She travels. I've learned so much from her. When I was younger, she used to say, Debbie, eat organic. Debbie, eat clean. Debbie, eat herbs. I'm like, Mom, I can't afford it. How am I supposed to do all of that? I'm so grateful that I listened to her. And I've incorporated that into my life because I was her seed and she just kept watering me. She kept planting and believing in me. And when I sprouted, really about probably within the last 5 years has been the most passion of mine for the healthy eating and overall what it does for us. So I'm really grateful for my mother Linda that just kept that inspiration going. All right. So we're gonna go ahead. I've got this cranked up. I think while this is cooking, I'm gonna do a little multitasking. I can still do that. So we brought some watermelon with us. And another thing, oh, that was fun. What I love to do is make a watermelon with a honey citrus mint glaze. It's really easy. And it kicks up the flavor of your fruits and your melons and your salads. You could use it in a whole fruit salad if you had watermelon, but mint is beautiful. As I mentioned earlier, Cassandra brought mint over to me, and just lovely. So mint is soothing. It's so good for us. It's great for digestion. It's wonderful for headaches. It's also great for body aches. Anything else? Anybody else use mint for something different?
To keep spiders out of my garden.
To keep spiders out of your garden. There you go. So mint is amazing. They have seeds here that I just want to do a prompting of. If you wanted to grow mint, you can go up front here in the front center, the retail center, and they have seeds for all different herbs. A lot of the herbs, as I mentioned, that you're eating are from waters. And so what we're going to do is we'll just do a little honey mint drizzle, and we'll go ahead and we'll put that over the watermelon. So I'm going to just kind of do a multitask action here. In fact, Cheyenne, would you mind being an egg stirrer? Because these are coming along really nice, but just a little slow. And this way we can get everybody something to enjoy eating.
Yeah, do you use, what kind of mint? Do you use spearmint, peppermint, lemon mint?
I use both. This is a regular
It's a combo of
peppermint and spearmint. Yeah. In fact, here, let's take this out. Great question. I'll start it here and then just take it, pass it around. You want to pull a leaf off. If that comes back empty, it's okay. Taste fresh mint that was just picked. Just like basil, there's about probably 9 or 10 different types of basil that I'm aware of. There's a lot out there. These are just some samples of basil, Thai basil, purple basil. This one is a holy basil. Holy basil is really nice. It has a wonderful taste, and it's also soothing. When you eat the holy basil, it also calms you. If you've gone through trauma, again, plant to plate, you can eat herbs and they help your body. And any other major herbal questions, I might have to refer to my friend and instructor Chris over here, or you could always feel free to jingle me and I can get back with you on that. Yes, ma'am. I love, depending on if I'm garnishing, I use the curly. If I'm cooking soups and stews, and the question that was asked is, do I have a preference of what type of parsley I use? So it depends on what I'm doing. Garnishing, I love using the curly parsley. Cooking, I love the flat. I grow curly because that's just what's available, and so that's what we're going to be eating today is a curly parsley. Yeah. How are those coming along? In fact, those are almost done. So yeah, I think what we'll do is I'll just let you plate some up and I'll continue on with the watermelon. Sounds good? Okay, great. And so this, we could just go ahead and turn the power switch off here when you're ready. And then you can get that portion. Thank you. So we're gonna go ahead and I did a little cheating. I use honey and water, and I melt it down a little bit, probably about a 4-to-1 ratio, 4 parts honey to 1 part water. It just helps, gets it a little bit more loose as it drizzles over the product. And so I've already got that right here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna add fresh mint to that. And then I love using a little bit of citrus. Typically for this, I love to do a lime. Now, I didn't have any limes at the house. It's like, oh, well, what do I have in the pantry? So this is organic lime juice, or you can use lemons or orange, or don't even worry about a lime. You could just enjoy the wonderful flavor of mint. Bring that plant to your plate and right into the palate. It's just amazing. Oh, it smells so good too. Yum, yum. This is nice. Today you're going to be eating it on some wedges, but it's wonderful in a fruit salad. If you take your fruits and cut them up, use a melon baller, whatever is appropriate. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Food is delicious. So mix all your fruits together and drizzle this over, and I will tell you, your friends are going to be like, oh my gosh, what is this? And it's simple ingredients. It's mint, honey, and a little citrus, and water. How's that? My friends Cecilia and Vicky are here. They're very passionate about water and clean water, and they've been putting a lot of great information on Facebook as they're getting ready to share more with the community on that. All right, so I just took the mint. I'm throwing it in the little swimming pool here. We're just gonna go ahead and mix this up. So do you wanna do lemon or lime? What should we do today? Lime? Okay. So we're gonna take the lime juice and we're just gonna squirt it in to give it that nice flavor. And then I'm gonna drizzle this over and we'll start passing this around. I think I'll start with the plate first, it's much prettier. One of the things that I would ask, if you don't mind, ladies and gentlemen, if you could hold on to your plate as we serve the different items. This way we won't have so many plates flying around. But if you do want a clean plate, please feel free and ask and just say, hey, can I get a clean one? I think I have plenty to accommodate. This is just fun, just playing with it. You just see all of this yumminess. And again, I keep getting that smell of the mint. It's wonderful. Well, sure, exactly. The mint, as I had mentioned, the question that was just asked are the medicinal purposes. And as I go through, I will share my knowledge and the takeaway that I have. So mint, great for headaches, great if you use it as an aromatherapy. It's also nice for pain. Women who have menstrual cramps can put it right near their hip bones, and the mint will help soothe and take that away. Smelling mint helps. I've heard a lot of people say they get migraines. The go-to herb or plant would be mint that most people are using. And then Cassie had mentioned earlier, it keeps spiders out of her garden, so that would help on that end. Chris, tie-in of mints, other than what I shared, would you
If
have?
you're starting to get a cold and drinking a hot mint tea and take a really hot bath, and it helps.
Hot mint tea is great as far as drinking that, and then in the bathtub or in a diffuser, just smelling that in will help with the lung and respiratory functions. All right, let's have some fun here. So this is family style. When I was growing up, we ate family style. So if you'd like to take a plate and then pass it down, and then I'll have you take the mint, drizzle over the watermelon and pass that down. Awesome sauce. Is that too heavy for you? Okay, great. And we do have napkins, so we'll go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and, is there one of the Waters Garden members, could you help with napkins? Oh, you're doing that, look at that, great. Well, let's just go ahead and take one, pass it around. There you go, thank you. This is when the fun begins. You're like, yay, we get to eat. So we've got breakfast coming. The eggs are ready. And then we also have the watermelon with the honey citrus mint glaze. All right. May I just grab it? Yeah. Thanks. You're welcome. There's two sides. All right, so now we got a little breakfast, little dessert. Any feedback on what you're tasting so far? How are the eggs? Do you taste the parsley? I got a thumbs up over here from one of our guests. Thank you. So again, really nice way to celebrate herbs in the morning. Get it in your body, get it in your tummy. I don't know if you knew this, but parsley has more vitamin C than an orange. So eat more parsley. Really, why not? You can do it dry. You could also do it fresh. I know people like preference of what they prefer. There's no right or wrong. Dry or fresh is best.
So it won't have the sugar that an orange would have.
It won't have the sugar. Yeah. It's very high in vitamin B, so it's wonderful for us. It really helps strengthen us. And it also has been known to prevent cancer. So I say eat more parsley. Why not? All right, next on our list, we're going to do a little bit of mixing of some more of my favorite herbs. So we're going to do a little bit of a pesto. We're going to do it two ways. I'm going to make a drizzle, and then we're going to add some cheese and nuts to it, because I know some people cannot have nuts, some people cannot have cheese. So we're going to have it a little bit on both worlds here. So what I'm going to do is start off and trade places with my dear friend. So I love using a food processor, Cuisinart, just like Grandma. Sometimes I don't measure, but I'm just using simple ingredients today. We're going to add approximately 3/4 of a cup of olive oil into this, since we have a nice group here together. Cooking with Italian herbs is one of my best passions. As I mentioned earlier this morning, I grew up with Italian, German, European roots, and we had herbs, but our herbs were dry. So my grandmother had herbs. This is just herbs of herb de Provence that I have, but everything was dry. They were in little shakers, and I didn't know the difference growing up as a little girl. Well, now knowing what the fresh herbs taste like, I'm going to go fresh. But you can use dry or fresh. I do have some dried rosemary also. So don't think like you have to only have fresh grown herbs. You can use dry herbs, they're amazing. The cooking is a little different. Drier herbs, you want to start them during the cooking process. Fresh herbs, put them in towards the last 10 to 20 minutes of your cooking process to get that full benefit and flavor. You just don't want to overcook the herb. Alrighty. So, as I mentioned, there's no right or wrong way. What we're going to do is we're going to add some basil. I have 2 basil plants on the table, one at each end of the goalpost of here. So these are the basil plants that I grew. There's one here, there's one on the end, and the seeds that I received were from Waters Garden Center. So I did a little trick. I had a raised bed, and I put my finger in all the fresh dirt, and I put the seeds in, and I thought, I wonder how many it will take. Oh my gosh, I have like all this basil. So my friend Nikki came over, part of my herbal tribe, and she helped replant some of that. And so these are from those plants. Alrighty. When you think of pesto, most people think, oh, I'm just going to use basil. Well, I always like to take it to another level and just add anything that you have. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the basil in. I've got a little bit of tarragon that I'm going to put in. Basil is amazing. It helps with respiratory. There's a lot of naturopathic doctors that use basil in their treatment plans with their patients, just for all the amazing properties that it has. And it has really neat little acids that can help stabilize blood sugar, so it also helps support those that may have diabetes. Again, I'm not a doctor, lots of research out there that you can find, but it is an amazing product. It's just full of flavor. And when we did this in class, we actually threw all the kids in the pot. So that's what we're gonna do today. I've got rosemary. Rosemary in Italian is called rosmarino, and it's an amazing herb. Again, fresh or dry, whatever is best for you. It just smells lovely. Because I only have a little bit today, they have a lot of it right back here. So if anybody needs a rosemary plant, I'm telling you, you better take it before they go. And rosemary just keeps growing and growing and growing, and it's amazing. Rosemary is great for some of us. It helps promote hair growth. So if you know someone who may have hair that's thinning, or somebody that's bald, it might be hard for that to happen, but it does help with that. It also helps with circulation. It also helps with blood sugar, and it helps with breathing. So rosemary is another one of those favorable herbs that you could not only eat to help with those health pieces, but it just smells amazing, and you can use it and smell it. If you took a piece of rosemary and you just pulled it off and smelled it, it's just powerful. In fact, let's just do that. Instead of teasing them, I'm gonna put this little bit of rosemary in here, and then Cheyenne, if you just wanna pass this around, if anyone wants to smell fresh rosemary that was just cut this morning.
I read rosemary, if you smell it every day, it helps with memory. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
What?
So the suggestion, the comment that was made by one of our guests is that she heard that when you smell rosemary, it helps with the memory. It helps with cognitive thinking. So memory is really important for us. Thank you for adding that. Very well.
Sniffing it a little more.
Yeah. Again, there's so many things that it boosts. So thank you for that prompting. I appreciate it. All right, so we've got some tarragon, a little bit of rosemary, and some basil in there. So now we're gonna throw some garlic. Garlic, aglio in Italian. Garlic is like my favorite friend. I love garlic. It has so many great properties. It's antimicrobial, antifungal. It helps just with like a natural antibiotic. So when we eat more garlic, we're helping our system, we're helping our stomach and our gut area. And just something to add, that a lot of what I have learned from Chris, my instructor, is that a lot of our ailments start in our tummies, in our gut. And so when we're eating all of these great herbs and clean food, what better way to keep ourselves feeling wonderful and vibrant and fresh and amazing. All right, so we got a little garlic in there. I've got to put one more garlic in because I just love garlic. How was the watermelon? Yeah? Delicious. I love that. Very nice. So glad that you enjoyed. And it's fresh too, just that fresh sweet flavor. All right, so now we're gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper. Rosanna, hola, hi. It's so good to see you. She's another one of my herby friends in my tribe. Thank you all for being here and being part of this amazing journey today. Okay, so we've got olive oil. We put in our herbs, basil, rosemary, and a little bit of tarragon. You can add more if you had cilantro, use cilantro. There's, again, no right or wrong. So we put in the garlic. Aglio, Allium sentivum is what the Latin name is. And we're just gonna mix this up. And so what we're doing right now, we're just blending this up. And then I'm gonna add a little bit more ingredients to it. But this is gonna be really nice. And we have the option of serving it with bread, crackers, or on salad. So this is when it's gonna get a little exciting with all these choices. So what I'd like to do is just drizzle this over the salad. And I won't put the cheese or the nuts in because I figure it might be easier for everybody that wants to enjoy that. So I'm gonna drizzle, oh, cheers. And then if you could go ahead and just toss and then serve. I'm not gonna do a whole bunch because that is plenty. It's got that whole flavor. So we're making a salad dressing. We're making what you can drizzle over fish, chicken, vegetables. You could put it over cheese. You could put it over anything, or don't even put it over, just eat it by the spoon. It's so fun and lovely. It's just amazing.
Can you freeze pesto?
Yes, oh, great question. Can you freeze pesto? Freeze it, yes, it's wonderful. If you have the pesto, you can put it in ice cube trays, you can put it in little baggies, and then when you're ready for more, just pull it right out of your freezer and you're ready with fresh pesto. Yeah. Alrighty, so we have that for the salad. I'm gonna go ahead and just pour this in here, and we'll use this for dipping. Well, everybody, some people can get this and some people will get the other blend that we're gonna make. And we're gonna kick it up a notch. So this is more of a drizzle. I'm gonna now do a more of a traditional pesto. I'm gonna add in same ingredients. So what did I start off with? Olive oil. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put herbs in. So what herbs should we use for this one?
Pine nuts or nuts?
Nuts, yes, we do have nuts. I don't have pine nuts, but I have pecans. So if you have pecans, walnuts, pine nuts, you can go ahead and add that. And then how about some herbs? Look at that, easy peasy, we're just gonna put them in. The meatiness of the pecan is just amazing. It gives such a fresh flavor. I like roasting pecans also. So I think what we'll do is we're just gonna go ahead and put some basil in. And I'm gonna put in a sage leaf. I'm gonna put in some oregano, Italian oregano. Today I have Italian oregano and spicy oregano. A lot of Italians use oregano for their cooking, and it is just wonderful and lovely. In fact, I'm just gonna put both the kids in there. Oregano is used similar to the peppermint. It's good for menstrual cramps. Also good for gastrointestinal, any tummy problems. Oregano is wonderful for that. So why not eat more oregano for having stomach aches? Plant to plate, and we do the whole process. All right, so we have oregano, we have a little bit of basil, and a piece of sage. And I'm just gonna add a little bit, we've got a little bit more of our rosemary. We're gonna add salt and pepper.
So which herbs do you use stems and which herbs don't you?
You know, for me, great question. Which herbs do you use stems and which ones don't you? Depending on what I'm making, I use them all. I love to use every piece of the plant. But that's your preference. If it's too bitter, because sometimes the ends might have a little bit more bitterness, then don't use them. And if you don't like that crunchiness, then don't use them. If you want the smoothness of the herb itself, then you can put that in. Thank you for that question. I appreciate it. What do you like to use, if I could ask on that? Do you like to use a specific part when you're doing your cooking?
I tend to not use the stems because I'm not pulverizing.
Okay. So without having the tool to cut the stems down, I could see where, yeah, it is nice because it's more smoother with the full herb. Sometimes I use a mortar and pestle, but I get so like I need to do this faster. But when I use a mortar and pestle, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. All right, so now we've got garlic in there, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of cotija cheese. You could use cotija cheese, Parmesan cheese, Romano cheese. You don't have to use cheese. You can use cottage cheese. If you're like, oh, I don't have cheese. The cottage cheese is nice too. Has a little bit of saltiness, has some enzymes, and it makes it creamy. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sprinkle some cheese in. For this amount, I'm gonna use approximately a half a cup. I'm not gonna do citrus just because I think I like to celebrate the true flavors in here. Did I put salt and pepper in? I don't remember. I think I did. Yes. Okay. Sweet. Thank you. Woo! Better have more rosemary for my memory. All right. So we're going to pulse this. Now, if I was doing this, probably I may want to add more herb. It may not be enough herb, but I just want to give you an opportunity to sample it. Go home and do this yourself. Have fun with it. The pesto you can use with pasta, with crackers, with bread. You can just eat it. You could put this over a little bit of meat or fish, or you could also put it with some quinoa. I happen to have some quinoa right here. Look at that. Oh yeah, pizza. For those that don't want tomato, pesto pizza, yum yum. So we're gonna use a little bit of this pesto, and I'm just gonna put it in some quinoa. I have a little bit of white bean and tomatoes, because a lot of the times it's like, I'm hungry, I don't know what to make. Most everybody has canned tomatoes in their house. This is a really nice organic white bean, great protein. So I'm just gonna show you how mixing them together, we're gonna make a meal. Now granted, I took the lids off, so I probably took about 100 seconds off the process. Oh, thank you, Cecilia. It's, again, eating herbs is simple and delicious. And so I just love, I love watching the audience and seeing everybody put their fork to their mouth and enjoying it. And I feel the best thing is to give you that opportunity to show you how easy it is to do it at home. Do it for your friends. They'll be like, you're the best. This is amazing. You're like, yeah, thank you. Did you ever see that commercial when the gal's making cake? She uses like a box mixer. She takes flour and she puts it over her face. Yeah, that's kind of cute. All right, so over here, as I mentioned, I'm going to use a little bit of this. And we're just going to drizzle up a couple items. Don't forget to stay hydrated, everyone, also as you're eating. So I'm just going to take a couple spoonfuls of what we made, and I'm going to put it over quinoa. I'm going to put it over, I have the beans and the tomatoes. This quinoa is an organic quinoa. I cooked it as we were preparing today. And it's just going to give you a sample of what you could do. Now, if I had more time, I would cook up some additional vegetables, and I could add that to the quinoa and make a quinoa salad. Or you can use it as a side dish. You can eat it hot, you can eat it cold. It's super easy, it's super simple. Could you get a spatula and put that in another bowl, and we'll pass it around for people, please? Thank you, Brian. All right, I am going to use a little bit of citrus in both, just because I think it'll just really wake up the flavor with the beans, the tomatoes, and the quinoa. Not too much, just a little bit. We have all of our doctor tools back here. All right, so as I mentioned, I opened a can of beans, I opened tomatoes. We're putting this pasta in, the pesto in. Cool. You can serve this over pasta if you want it. But we're just gonna eat this cold, like a cold salad. Unless you want it heated. So you tell me, hot or cold? Cold. Cold, okay. See how easy that is? So there's that one. Here's the quinoa, just how easy this fluffs up. Quinoa takes like, I don't know, maybe 18 to 20 minutes. And I'm going to add a little bit of our drizzle that we had from the first batch. Just a little bit, just to kind of loosen it up. Again, another dish that's hot, that's cold. Nope, just pass it around, and we can maybe pass a bread around. If anyone's gluten-free, we have gluten-free crackers, so please be mindful, let us know. We covered all spectrums today, I believe. But we're gonna pass around the pesto, and then I'm ready to just do a little bit of serving of the quinoa. I'm gonna take some parsley, and I'm just gonna garnish up our tomato and beans. So it just has some nice color to it. I don't know if you can all see that. All right. Do we have any volunteer servers that would like to help serve this up? Thanks, Chris. So maybe just whoever wants to give them a little bit. Thank you, thank you.
Sorry, not giving you a lot of room.
All right. And now we have our quinoa dish. Lots of plant-to-plate items. Can I serve you some? So did you think you were going to eat anything today? Oh, what a special treat. This is a cotija cheese. It's the Hispanic culture uses it a lot. I love it for the saltiness and what it does to the pesto. There you go. Cotija, C-O-T-I-G-A, I think. Yeah. You okay?
Yeah. Just clumsy, that's all.
I'm going to start on this end. It's kind of like a church. It's hard for me to pass this down, but I'll go to the other side. And oh, look at that over the shoulder. Woo! I love it! That's great! You're welcome. All right, so as I'm serving this to you folks, and you're eating some of the last set of yummies, please be mindful that I love to do more questions. As Ken had mentioned earlier, we're going to have available on here some of the properties of the plants that you're eating, some of the great medicinal components that you get from plants to plates. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is. Oh, thank you. That was a quinoa, organic quinoa. It's a gluten-free product, has a really good protein. So instead of rice, you can use quinoa. All right, on this side, they're like, had their tongue sticking out. Debbie, make sure you get some of us. Question, yes. All right, a comment is coming. So, how about you ask and I will listen?
I just want to say, Debbie, this is delicious, and I love quinoa. And there's when you make this, you should make this and store it in your refrigerator for days. So you have it sitting, and then just pull it out and whip up. I've got a cold salad recipe.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, thank you, Vicki. Yeah, so Vicki was saying when she makes the quinoa or the pesto, she keeps it in the refrigerator, and you can keep it in there. And just when you want some, you pull it out. Just like we were sharing and experiencing, if you made frozen pesto, whether it's in ice cube trays or jars or Ziploc bags, you can make it and then have it for later. So my new friend over here said, but the problem is, Debbie, is that you're not going to fix it. Do you want me to put it on a plate? Sure, of course, I'd love to. There you go, sir. My pleasure. All right. Oh, it's my pleasure. Karen, well, hello, dear. It's so good to see you twice in a week. All right, look at that. This is like, please, put food on my plate. I love this. I'm honored, everyone. I'm moved. I'm touched. I'm inspired to be here with you, to share with you. You all are part of my journey, my learning. Passing the baton is so important when we learn something, to share it. Oftentimes, I don't do that enough when I'm with my husband and working, because everything is always so busy, but what I'm learning is that we have to share, and it starts at home. It starts in our gardens. It starts in our neighborhoods. It starts with local business. Oh my gosh, look at that.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Is it Matthew?
Yeah.
Matt, yes, nice to see you. Well, Amy and Kat, I don't have much to give you.
Well,
I'm
you're going to do this all over again for the staff.
We'll
after
do it all
everybody
over
leaves.
again. You name it, you call it. Oh, the white beans, I picked them up from Sprouts. They have white beans at Sprouts. You'll find them in the grocery store. And what I love is that grocery stores are featuring more organic. And then also, or the non-GMO labels are on. Really, I just want to share, it was 98 cents for the can of beans, about 82 cents for the tomatoes. We probably spent less than 75 cents for the olive oil and all the yummies that we added in there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So what we did is we made a dish and we served, I don't know, 40 people for $3. to do a taste.
Hey Debbie, where did you get the crackers?
Those crackers, the gluten-free crackers, I picked up from Costco actually. It's the gluten-free, non-GMO Crunch Masters. Yeah, they're just amazing and delicious. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, what do you think? Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for being open, for participating, for maybe learning something, for me to be able to talk about body parts or ailments, male or female, that might be affected, and just to be able to be in an environment, to be here at Waters Garden Center, the great space here in town. We got to have breakfast, we got to have appetizers, we had some dessert with the fruit, all in an hour, amongst new friends, I hope, or existing friends. So yeah, so really, thank you so much. As I mentioned, my husband and I own the Natural Healing Garden, and I support goods from the garden. I'm gonna take these gloves off now. And I love food, I love sharing, I love creating events, I love working with clients, I like listening to them. I grow through every client that I work with. I learn something special about each one of them, and it enhances my life. Just like with folks that I work with or have worked with, everybody has something special to bring to the table. So what I'd like to just close with is never be afraid to share. Never be afraid to say, hey, I have a question, or I found out something and I want to tell you about it. Speak it. I often say it's kind of like passing the baton. Like, I really learned something about olive oil. If I had 2 tablespoons a day, it would be great. And basil, holy basil. Basil's amazing, it's so good. And rosemary. What did it help? Oh yeah, my memory. But if you know these things, then tell someone. And when we have the baton, then we pass the baton. And then we create it in our life, in our community. Because if we don't share with each other, then we kind of are like that plant that might be in the corner that's saying, water me, help me, pick me, pick me, pick me. So on behalf of my assistant, Cheyenne, thank you. And thank you to the staff at Waters Garden Center. Oh, we have a question over here. Excuse me. Say it one more time, Susan.
Can I tell these people what you do for me and my husband?
Yes, you can. Do you want to speak in the microphone? Okay. Okay, come on up with me. I'll take your plate. Thank you. Unless you don't want me to take it. Okay. I noticed you didn't eat your bread. Good girl. Good girl. I'll have to tell you why.
Where's the location?
Oh, great. The Natural Healing Garden is located at 119 Garden Street. We're 1 block south of Prescott College, 7 blocks from the downtown square. I've got some brochures here that has the address. We are on Facebook also. So we're here in town. But this is a dear friend, Susan, of mine. And so I'm just gonna have her, no? Okay. All right.
Debbie is my personal chef. I was in a treatment facility last year and... Oh, okay. Now can you hear me? Okay. All right, I have to stand really close to it. I was in a treatment facility last year, and when I came out, I had been in there for several months, and the diet was organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, caffeine-free, and I thought,
And soy-free.
And soy-free, what else free? Everything
That
free.
was, yeah. that was
And
nice.
when I came out, I didn't know how the heck I was going to manage this, but I wanted to try to maintain the diet. I found Debbie, and she's been cooking for myself and my husband for it's been about a year now, right? About a year.
Almost a year.
And I tell her each week what I need or what I'd like for the following week, and she delivers these incredible meals for myself and my husband, these barbecued ribs and barbecued chicken and shepherd's pie and anything that I order. It's absolutely fabulous, and she does this every week, and she's wonderful. She really is. Just thought I'd tell you.
All right, well, that wraps up our morning session here at Waters Garden Center for the weekly sharing and community.